Attention passionate Green Bay Packers fans. Latest news, something big is happening in the NFC North and it could change the game. We're talking about a direct impact on Green Bay Packers' path to another Super Bowl run, a power shift that could leave a division rival stumbling for years. We're bringing this to you firsthand. But before that, if you're a true Green Bay Packers fan, subscribe to the channel to strengthen this passion even more. Show that you're also part of this family. Let's help each other reach 1,000 subscribers. Share with your friends and Green Bay Packers fans. Let's get to the news. There's a buzz going around the NFL, and it's not just the usual chatter about draft prospects or game day predictions. No, this time it's about a potential blockbuster move that could shake up the entire NFC North and give the Green Bay Packers a serious boost in their quest for another Super Bowl title. Rumors are swirling that the Kansas City Chiefs, who are currently struggling a bit in a season that's been marked by inconsistency and some worrying signs, might be open to trading Chris Jones. That's right, the dominant defensive tackle who's been a cornerstone for the Chiefs' defense for years. Now I know what some of you might be thinking. The Chiefs, a team that's been in the Super Bowl conversation almost every year with Patrick Mahomes leading the charge, are in a bit of a tricky spot. Their cap situation isn't ideal, and with Mahomes himself still under a big contract, they're pondering whether to shift gears and rebuild a little, or at least reset their roster to keep themselves competitive long-term. The idea here is that Kansas City might be willing to part ways with Chris Jones, especially after a down year for their defense, in exchange for draft picks and a promising defensive tackle prospect. This move would be a strategic way to free up cap space, bring in fresh young talent, and maybe even reshape their defense for the future. But what does this mean for the Packers? Well, if such a trade happens, and it's still just speculation at this point, it could have huge implications. Chris Jones, a disruptive force on the inside who played his college ball at Mississippi State, would be a game changer for Green Bay's already solid defensive line. Jones's talents are undeniable. He's a real interior disruptor, capable of collapsing the pocket, stopping the run, and creating chaos for opposing quarterbacks. Pairing him with Kenny Clark, that's a nightmare for offenses. It would significantly elevate the Packers' run defense, which has been solid but could use that extra push, especially against NFC rivals with powerful ground games like the Lions and the Vikings. Let's look at Jones's recent performance. In the 2025 season, he's been a beast, recording 11 solo tackles, 4 sacks, and 22 total tackles in just 13 games. His PFF grade overall isn't off the charts at 71.3, but his pass rush grade is sky-high at 90.4, with pressures totaling 35. That's a guy who can change the tone of a game with his ability to get to the quarterback. His run defense win rate is around 28%, which is pretty good for an interior lineman, and his EPA per pressure is a healthy 0.20. Over his career, Jones has accumulated 151 games with an eye-popping 84, 5 sacks and 218 tackles, plus over 150 QB hits. His missed tackle rate is just 4.8%, which shows he's reliable and consistent. Injuries? Sure, like most players, he's had his bumps. He missed just one game due to a shoulder injury in Week 6, but he came back strong. Remember that game in Week 5 where he racked up 2 sacks against the Broncos? That's the kind of impact player Jones is. His presence on the field elevates the entire defensive front, and with the trade of someone like Hargrave in 2025, which boosted the Eagles' pass rush significantly, Jones could be that missing piece for Green Bay. Now let's consider Kansas City's side of things. They're currently 6-7 with a cap hit of around $2.8 million and allowing roughly 24 points per game. That's not terrible, but it's not their usual dominance either. And with a cap hit of $28 million in 2026 for Jones, the Chiefs are probably thinking about a reset, especially if they want to keep Mahomes happy and stay flexible for future moves. Trading Jones now would expose their defensive line as a whole, which has accumulated 25 sacks this season. It's a gamble, especially if they're aiming to compete now, but it might be necessary to rebuild and allocate resources elsewhere. For the Packers, this potential trade could be a game changer. Their defense, currently rated with a PFF grade of 82. One for the defensive line, has been dominant against the run, allowing just 145 yards per game on the ground. With Kenny Clark anchoring the interior and Jones joining him, the front seven becomes a nightmare for offenses. The Packers' run defense has been particularly effective against divisional rivals like the Lions, holding them to just 160 yards on the ground in recent matchups, and their third down defense is among the best in the league at stopping opponents at crucial moments. This kind of interior strength would be huge come playoff time, especially in snow and cold conditions, where controlling the line of scrimmage and stopping the run are paramount. It's the kind of addition that could push the Packers from a good playoff contender to a real Super Bowl threat. Think about it. With a front that can generate pressure without blitzing, the secondary benefits immensely, and the entire defensive scheme becomes more versatile. Plus, with the NFC being relatively open this season, the Packers could capitalize on this upgraded defense to make a deep run. Looking ahead, the Super Bowl odds reflect that kind of potential. Currently, the Packers are sitting at plus 800 odds to win it all, but with a move like this, those odds could tighten significantly, maybe even dropping to plus 450 or better if Jones becomes a true difference maker. In the playoffs, a dominant defensive line can be the difference between an early exit and hoisting the Lombardi Trophy. Just ask the Chiefs from 2023 or the Buccaneers in 2020. If the Packers can add that extra star on their line, it could be the catalyst for their next championship run. Of course, all of this hinges on the trade actually happening, and there are plenty of factors at play. The Chiefs might decide that holding on to Jones for a playoff push makes more sense, especially since they're still in the hunt. But if they do decide to move him, it could set off a chain reaction across the league, and the Packers should be ready to pounce. The team's current defense is already playing at a high level, but adding a player of Chris Jones's caliber would elevate them into the elite category. It's the kind of move that could define a season and leave a lasting legacy on Green Bay's defense for years to come. And let's not forget the context of this season. The Packers, sitting at 9-3-1, are in the thick of the playoff race. Their defense, especially up front, has been a key part of their success, with a PFF grade of 82. On the defensive line, they're already a tough team to beat, especially when they can control the line of scrimmage and shut down the run. Adding Jones would make them even more formidable, especially in the playoffs, where every possession counts. Their ability to pressure the quarterback and stuff the run will be crucial against formidable opponents like the Seahawks or the Lions, especially if those games are played in snowy conditions. In terms of scheme fit, Jones's style perfectly complements what the Packers are trying to do. He's an interior disruptor who can collapse the pocket from the inside, freeing up outside rushers and linebackers to make plays. His presence commands double teams, which in turn opens opportunities for others like Kenny Clark and Wyatt. The Packers have shown the ability to generate pressure without blitzing, and adding Jones would only enhance that ability. It's a move that makes strategic sense, not just for this season, but for the future as well. In summary, while we're still waiting for official confirmation, the buzz around Chris Jones and the possibility of him wearing green and gold is enough to excite any Packers fan. It's a move that could reshape the NFC playoff landscape, strengthen the Packers' front seven, and push them closer to their ultimate goal, another Lombardi Trophy. The potential is there, and the opportunity to make a statement in the offseason is real. Green Bay has always been about building through the draft and smart trades, and if this one goes through, it could be a defining moment for Coach Matt LaFleur's squad. So keep your eyes peeled, Packers fans. The offseason is always full of surprises, and this one might just be the biggest. Whether it's rumors or confirmed reports, one thing is clear. The Green Bay Packers are looking to get even better, and their defensive front could soon be a lot more intimidating. The future looks bright, and with a move like acquiring Chris Jones, it could be a season to remember. Pause here just for a second. If you want the YOUTUBE algorithm to keep recommending the latest Green Bay Packers news to you, it's super important that you leave a like on this video. Go ahead, it's quick and it makes a big difference. Thank you. Now let us continue with the big reveal. Looking ahead, the NFL landscape might be shifting, and the Packers are right in the middle of it. The NFC is wide open, and with the right moves, they could be the team to beat come January. The addition of Chris Jones could be the boost they need to topple big rivals and finally get over the hump. Fans of the Packers know that defense wins championships, and if this trade materializes, it's almost like adding a supercharger to an already solid engine. It's exciting to think about the possibilities, a revamped, dominant front that can terrorize offenses and carry the team deep into the postseason. And now, Green Bay Packers fans, I want to hear from you. What's your take on this? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. Your opinion matters so much to us and to the Green Bay Packers. And don't forget, I'll be back soon with more updates, so stay tuned for the latest Green Bay Packers news.